Center. I mean, there's a there's a lot of books that outline the sort of transactional nature of these things that are
I'm aware.
from us.
There's a couple of them on the shelf behind
you. Of course. So you recognize that there could be for Congress people who want to get reelected, who want to be able to deliver material benefits for their constituents, or maybe some of them, are like they want to be the person who gets out in front of the cameras. Whatever it is, there's no doubt that leadership has. We don't know.
We don't know what the consequences are.
That's part of it.
Right.
Everyone is so willing to say, we can't do this because the consequences are so high. And I'm sorry, you cannot make that argument. If you can't even you can't even put together a little bit of a cogent argument about what.
It depends. I want
to say this. What's important is I said as part of the ask. That's why I started with the ask. You can ask to ward off against any of those possibilities down the line. If you think you're going to lose committee appointments, make committee appointments part of your ask. If you think you're going to lose out funding to your district, stipulate that you are only going to get this vote if you get commensurate funding with what you got last year or whatever you asked for. The sky is the limit, and if you don't get it, then you just say, I'm going to dethrone Nancy Pelosi and put someone in her place with less power. Because let's talk about why Nancy Pelosi has the power she has. It's not just because she's been there a long time. It's because other people owe her favor because she is the most powerful fundraiser in Congress. So whoever she gets replaced with is not going to be as powerful.
The HEROES Act.
It's not going to be able to do as much harm also.
The HEROES Act, for instance. One of the big criticisms of the HEROES Act, where she had the opportunity to negotiate and maybe get a skinnier package over the course of the summer, maybe that $1.8 trillion thing, right? Part of it, I think they were afraid that if they passed that $1.8 trillion deal with the Trump administration, that Trump might win the presidency. It's not inconceivable, actually. I mean, he didn't lose by very much. But another reason why, and I think if you go back and look at the way that she defended the HEROES Act, it was a wish list for her committee chairs, and her committee chairs all have their constituents as well. And I'm talking within Congress, right? And so she is delivering by putting these things in there. Her committee chairs can go back to their voters and say, I fought for, the easement on the river that everybody's talking about in my district. And that was in there. And that's why all these things were sort of larded up with stuff that was basically a laundry list of stuff. And the committee chairs can dole those things out, which are, essentially, currency to the members of their committees, and they can bring those home to their districts and say, I fought for this, or I got this. And so there are machinations, I think, within Congress that, yes, I can't sit here and tell you definitively what the price would be for these individuals, and I think to a certain extent you don't know, right? You don't know down the road what you're going to need in terms of favors from different people, and the question is just simply you weigh it in terms of what the cost-benefit analysis is. And I think, I am inclined to give leeway to people who I think are closest to my political disposition in Congress, more leeway to them than I would others.